pants on under there. Man, you a kilt or what? Are you a kilt? Is that just a really long kilt? You know what I mean, but let me tell you something. The world ought to be able to look at us and see a difference. And I think we've compromised. We know it's right, we just don't do it. Now, I'm going to hit you where it hurts now. You ready? Let me tell you something. I understand that the generation that you're living in is the most sexually charged generation of all time. You can't watch a ball game. I mean, last night my wife was torturing me in my last moments of flu with American Idol. And I was amazed that in a 2-hour show there was about 35 to 40 minutes of American Idol, and there was probably 30 minutes of Victoria's Secret commercials. I was like, if I have to see this girl in her bra one more time, we're getting a little too closer. People are going to start talking. I've seen this girl in her bra more than I've seen my wife in her bra. You know what I mean? What is the deal here? Certain lines don't come. Hear me. I understand just by watching TV that this is the generation, the 60s were kind of putting them to shame. And let me tell you, there is no, let me make it unequivocally clear to you. Hear me. Unequivocally clear to you. Good luck. Now, let me make it very, very clear to you, okay? In case you've never been to church and you've never heard this, we, as Christian young people, there is no room for compromise. No room. You say, well, David, we're not going all the way. Well, let me tell you something. Purity has a lot more to do than all the way. Some of you say, well, we've never slept together, but, everything else is okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. And you say, well, are middle schools going to do this? Yes, you middle schoolers need to pay attention so we don't have to have any conversations with you that we're having with the high schoolers that have already compromised themselves. You need to keep yourself pure. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to make this clear. Your sexuality is a gift from God. And it truly is one of the only gifts that's yours and only yours. That you only get to give away one time. And when you give away your purity, guess who you're stealing from? You. It is your wedding day. It is your future spouse that you are stealing from. There is no room in your life for sexual impurity. There's no room for it. Let me tell you something. You will regret giving away. Nobody in the world kisses like you. Nobody in the world holds hands just like you. There's nobody in the world that touches just like you. And once you give it away, you cannot get it back. We have become a generation who have compromised ourselves, not only by cheating in our language and our dress, but in how we handle that gift from God, which is your sexuality. Let me tell you something. If you're compromising yourself sexually, then you need to stop and figure out what's going on in your life. Because there is no reason for that. We have become a generation of liars. You know how I know? I could call you guys' house tonight at about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and guess what I'm going to get? I'm going to get an answering machine and say, hey, we're not here. You know what you're doing? You're standing right there looking at my phone number going, I want to talk to you. Liars! Or, this is my favorite one, tell them I'm not here. That's a lie. That's a lie. Now, you say, well, David, what? Well, here's another one. How's your day been? Great! Your dog just got ran over. You fought with your mom all the way here. You're having the worst day of your life. You're saying, we lie constantly. And you girls don't take this wrong because I'm a big fan of makeup. I think you should put it on. And I think we should teach you some of you how to put it on. And please cover up. But makeup's the true lie. There was one time. This is a true story. This is not a preacher story. Carrie had this roommate, Tracy. She wasn't much to look at, but she wasn't that ugly or anything. She was all right. Well, I used to tape roses to Carrie's window because if the guys got caught at the girls' dorms, it was a little bit of a problem. So I would tape flowers, roses to her window. Well, her roommate one night, very late, heard me taping a rose to her window. And her roommate Tracy opened the window to look out. I got scared to death. I'm like, who are you? I mean, nose came out, she didn't have any eyes, you know, she was white, pale, like Esther. You know, I got scared to death. I was like, I feel sorry for your husband, man. You're going to get married, and next morning wake up, he's going to be scared to death. And she felt out of the ugly tree, hit everything all the way down. She was using makeup to help herself. That's a lie. Guys, let me just tell you a little thing. Make sure you see this girl without makeup on before you get married. You don't want no smoke.
Amen.
Tell you where compromise came from and some tools so you can see yourself compromise. The last area we compromise in is music. Let me tell you something. You guys know by now that I love music and I like it loud. If it's not loud, then you must not play it. My daughter tonight runs right in front of an ambulance, screaming sirens the whole time. Why? Because the music's too loud. I had to say that. Now listen. I am not saying that you have to go back to the organ grinder and listen to Amazing Grace as you're washing your car. But let me tell you something. And I love Jayla, by the way. She's great. I love Jayla to death. But man, when that organ starts at the end of the service, I've seen the little guy with the grinder. So, I'm not saying by any means that your music should be something that is unattractive to you, but let me tell you something. Your music ought to reflect the Christ that lives within you. And if it doesn't, you need to wipe it off your iPod. You know, I've often told you guys, a few years ago, if I got in your car, I would know what kind of person you are by looking at how clean it was, what CDs were in the rack. Now, I don't even need to get in your car. Just hand me your iPod for about 30 seconds, and I'll tell you what kind of person you are. Look at your iPod. You show me what kind of music you're listening to, and I'll show you what kind of Christian you are. Let me tell you something. We have and believe me, some of you that don't know me very well, I like a wide variety of music. You can get my iPod, and you're going to find some music that you won't even believe that I listen to. You're going to find some. The other day I copied Harry's iPod. I found a version called iPod. iPod is the thing I hate the most. Is sitting on my iPod to try to get music on there. So I found this little program for $25 where I hook up your iPod and I just steal whatever songs I want off yours. Because I compromise myself by cheating. And so I didn't want to look at all the songs, so I just did a straight copy. I copied her whole iPod into my iPod. Well, the next day, I'm in my car minding my own business, and you know what came on? Phantom of the Opera song. I was like, what in the world? So I had it on shuffle, so I hit next, and it got worse. It was a very Manilow song.
Yeah! I can't smile without you.
Then I started repenting to God, because obviously I've done something wrong in my life to deserve those two songs back to back. So I want you to understand. I want you to understand something about this area of music. And if you look back over the course of 7 or 8 years, you can count how many messages on one hand when we talk about music. Because at no time can I think that we can stand up and say, this is good and this is bad, this is a black list and this is a white list. You're going to have to talk to your parents. And I know some of you like that country stuff. Whatever music is on your iPod, it ought to reflect who you belong to. Hear me. Whatever's on your iPod ought to reflect who you belong to. And if it doesn't, get it off. Erase it. Now. Spend a little more time there. Well, I wanted to do something I can hurry on this one. You say, well, David, I understand I'm compromising in a lot of areas. How do I stop? How is it that I come into my life and I stop compromising? You know, Genesis chapter 3 is perhaps the